Well, good afternoon from Ian and Iona. We are, as you can tell, not kitted out for a parkrun on today's little adventure. No. But we're starting what, Iona?
My cycle tour.
It's your annual cycle tour, isn't it?
Yes.
So we have caught the train from home over to Rugby. That went all smoothly, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we have done a little bit of cycling already, out from Rugby, along some busy roads, weren't they, in places?
Yes.
But you coped okay, didn't you?
Yeah.
And come out to Capthorpe, where we have found a lovely little farm shop, and you have enjoyed a very tasty lunch. What did you have?
Jack potato, cheese and beans.
How does it rate?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. We're rating out of 10 today, are we?
Yeah.
It was delicious, and some very nice cake as well, wasn't there? Had a little browse round the farm shop and some other little shops here. And now it's time to get back on the bikes and carry on over towards Market Harbour. I was about to say Market Bosworth, that's where we did the parkrun last week. No, it's Market Harbour today, and we are camping near Market Harbour, ready to cycle then tomorrow down to Northampton. So, a little adventure. How are you getting on with your own bike? What's you finding hard?
Hills.
Hills. You've got your own panniers on, haven't you, today?
Yeah.
And are they making it hard work at those hills? You're discovering that Daddy might have been working harder than you thought when you were on the tag-along to get you up the hills, are you?
Yeah. And we got a business card.
You picked up the business card from one of the little shops, haven't you? From the loft at the Capthorpe. You liked all the owls in there, didn't you? Right, shall we get back on our bikes? And let's attack some hills. Up until now we've been largely cycling along roads, but we've now turned off the beaten track and are cycling along a bit of bridleway. Started with a gentle downhill, and then it's our steepest bit of climb of the ride. So not only is it not quite a smooth tarmac under the pedals, but it's also a little bit steeper than it's been thus far. So I think there might be a bit of bike pushing involved. We made it up the steep climb. As soon as it levelled out, it also became tarmac again. So the minute that we didn't really mind too much is when it got easy again. But we made it. We did have to do a bit of walking. I pushed both bikes up the climb, but we got to the top. And now we're riding along a nice bit of flat land, enjoying views of cornfields on either side of us and an aviation services building. Interesting. Are you okay?
No,
You're tired, but have you just had an energy chew?
yes.
Is that going to peck you up and get you going for the next section?
I think so.
But what have we found up here?
Airfield.
Yeah.
Is it still in use?
I don't know. I definitely wouldn't want to fly in that plane right in front of us, would you?
Yeah, but are you allowed to go in it?
Into that aeroplane?
Yeah.
I don't think so, not us. And it also seems to be full of stuff. But yes, I'm guessing it's a glider field here. We've stopped to say hello to some of the local residents as we come through the village of Walford. We're about halfway now on our first day cycling. So how are you feeling, Iona?
Good.
You okay?
Yeah, a bit tired.
Bit tired still. That's been your permanent refrain today. But yeah, we've done the big hill and now enjoyed a bit of downhill for a little while, haven't we? But we are feeling one or two spots of rain right now, so we'll see how that might shape up.
Postman Pat.
Hello, Postman Pat. Well, it's caught up with us. What's happening, Iona?
It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos. No, I think it's definitely raining water.
I like taco. I've never had a taco.
Your tacos might be tastier. This is just wet.
Yeah.
Coats are on. We've waited a couple of minutes, and the longer we wait, the heavier it seems to get, doesn't it? Yeah. Do we just have to get on with it and get wet, I guess, don't we?
Yeah.
Right.
We've only got 7.8 more.
Okay, let's go get wet. Something we weren't expecting. Cycling through a field of cows and calves, and they're running along the road in front of us. Why they've chosen to all run ahead of us, I've no idea, but that's what they're choosing to do. Well, we got through that field. We fortunately didn't get attacked by the cows, the calves or the bull. It was a rather big bull. And the good news is the rain has stopped and there's bits of blue sky around again. And we're not too far to the campsite now, so not too far to go. Just 3 or 4 miles. Well, we're getting there, aren't we, Iona?
Yeah.
Are those legs going to be very glad to see that campsite? We've just arrived at Great Oxenden. Well, it's just there, the sign for it. But we've just got a little way to go. Then from there, we should join the greenway that we're going to be then cycle along down to the campsite, and that we're going to be riding along all day tomorrow. So, do you think those legs can manage that last little bit?
Yeah.
What are you going to do when we get to the campsite?
I don't think I need to drive my legs anymore because it stopped raining. But I think I might just chill.
We made it to the campsite, pitched tent in the rain, didn't we, Iona? Mm-hmm. Iona's hiding away in the tent, but fortunately now the sun has come out. It's a lovely evening. We've brewed up some nice tea from Aldi's finest. I didn't bring you that disgusting spag bol this time, did I, Iona?
No.
I'm never allowed to do that again, am I? Today we've had Aldi's spinach and ricotta stuffed pasta, which works really nicely. We highly recommend that as a camping meal, don't we, Iona? And now we're thinking of whether to head down to the pub and see whether we can get a pudding there, aren't we?
Yeah.
And maybe a nice drink for Daddy as well.
I might have a Coke or something, but...
You might have a Coke.
It might keep me awake, but...
There is that. But it's a very quiet, lovely little campsite. Very basic. Just toilets, and there's a little pantry there. If you want some, if you've forgotten your eggs or something like that, you can get some eggs there, can't you?
You can make a breakfast. You can make a nice fried.
I could do some fried eggs, couldn't I, for breakfast?
Yeah, that'd be quite nice. But you don't have cash.
No, but you can pay by online, it says. Well, we've checked with the pub 200 metres down the road from the campsite, and they're still open and serving puddings, aren't they, Iona? So we're hoping they will serve us just a pudding, and we'll be able to have a nice pudding. What are you hoping to have?
Either sticky toffee pudding or chocolate fudge cake.
I think I'll probably go for sticky toffee pudding. That is one of my favourites.
I'm probably going to go for chocolate fudge cake.
It's a beautiful evening. The sun is setting, lovely golden sunset, isn't it, Iona?
Yeah. And it hasn't rained again since.
And it's been lovely, hasn't it? Since we pitched the tent and everything, it stopped raining.
Yeah.
Which is good, but also I wish it had stopped raining before we pitched the tent. Pub now, aren't we, Iona? Heading back to the campsite. Are you ready for some sleep? Are you a bit tired after today?
A bit cold.
And a bit chilly as well. You want to snuggle up in your sleeping bag and get some sleep, ready for another big ride tomorrow. Right, let's get back to that campsite then. We're back in the tent. Is it time to get some sleepy, Iona?
Yeah.
Night night.
And I'm doing the old method for a pillow.
What's that?
Putting like a zippy or something over a dry bag.
As opposed to my luxury inflatable pillow.
Yeah.
Good night, sleep well. See you in the morning. Good morning. Well, we slept well in our tent last night, so we did get a bit of rain, but we've woken up this morning to a beautiful sunny morning for the next day of our cycle tour adventure. First though, it's time to get some breakfast cooking. We're quite glad there's some eggs here in the pantry, so Iona fancies a fried egg for breakfast. So you have your fried egg, Iona? And I have my porridge. How does it taste?
Good.
Is it good cooking it up on the camp stove? Sitting eating in a field? But it's clouded over a bit now, hasn't it, while we've been cooking that? Let's hope it doesn't cloud over and start raining just as I need to take the tent down. Are you looking forward to the next day's adventure?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the fact it's a bit flatter today?
Yeah, that huge hill for the cafe.
It's not a huge hill.
It is.
It only looks huge because the rest of it's so flat. Don't you believe me? Okay, we'll see when we get there. But right now, let's carry on enjoying our breakfast. We're all packed up, loaded on the bikes, and ready to go, aren't we, Iona?
Yep, but you left my light on in the tent.
I've left your light packed up inside the tent, haven't I? Because we were using our light in the tent last night. Never mind, I don't think we'll be dark by the time we get there tonight. A lot less if it goes very wrong. So off back to the cycle route that we were cycling on yesterday, the old railway line, and heading down to Northampton. Time to get going.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within, calling. This heavy load got under your skin, hauling. You got the white knuckles holding on a time.
Well, we've arrived at Calmarsh Tunnel, which is 480 metres long, and it's got no lights inside, Iona.
It says poor lighting.
Poor lighting. I think that means non-existent lighting. I've got lights on my bike. Do I want to put a light on your bike?
No, I haven't got one.
I've got one with me for you. Might that be useful?
No, I don't want to get this couple.
Just go through.
Actually, yeah.
I think a light would be a good idea. So yes, this tunnel, we missed the first tunnel on the route because we actually came over the top of it and came down to join the route just on top of the tunnel, didn't we?
Yeah. So this tunnel here?
No, the other tunnel that we cycled over the top of previously. This is the next tunnel because there's two tunnels on this route. So we're about to go through it, and it looks quite quiet at the moment, so we shouldn't have to avoid other people.
But
just
we
make
have
sure.
To dismount anyway.
No, you can
No,
ride
says
through it.
cycle dismount.
Cyclists dismount and walk unless you have good lights.
Okay.
So there you go. We'll see how we get on, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go cycling through a tunnel. As you can probably tell, it is really dark in here due to the fact you won't be able to see me at all on this footage. You can just hear me and the weird echo. You pass under what would have been vents for the steam trains. So I'm just passing under one now. Iona, how was that?
Scary.
Scary. Was it fun? Did you manage to make the later see enough?
Yeah.
Did you definitely need the light?
Yeah. I think I needed it on full though, because that wasn't full.
Was it not?
You can go.
Ah, I thought I got it on full. Could have done with it a bit brighter, could you?
Yeah.
But you made it. Well done. You cycled all the way through. We're just passing the summit seat. So we've reached the top of the railway line. That theoretically means it's all downhill from here for a while. It certainly was uphill through that tunnel. I can notice the gradient. So now we'll be freewheeling a bit, hopefully.
Keeping your feet bottled up inside, heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die.
Well, we've just seen a rather interesting bridge, haven't we, Iona?
Yeah.
What's the problem with it?
Well, it looks like a normal bridge, but then it's got no stairs. You can't climb it. Not just because there's no stairs, it's also a bit blocked. And you can't even walk across it.
But it's a lovely old bridge. It would have been here when it was a railway, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've also seen some heavy horses, haven't we?
Yes.
And the little foals as well in the field by the side. They were very cute, weren't they? Are you ready to carry on?
I think so.
Let's get going then. So this route along the old railway line is okay. You would struggle to do it on a full-on road bike. You certainly need some slightly wider, fatter tyres. The surface is really good in some places, just nice, fine, compacted gravel. Other places it's a bit rocky and muddy, and that does make it a little more challenging to keep your balance and keep moving if you're riding along, especially for Iona. But yeah, great resource, but just perhaps doing a little bit of TLC and improvement to the surface to make it more accessible for all riders. Great resource and a lovely way to get from Market Harbour through to Northampton. So we have pulled off the cycle path, the greenway, for a little uphill section, wasn't it, Iona? How was that?
Tiring.
Was that hard work after all that flat cycling? And we've come into Brixworth, which is just by the reservoir, where there is a parkrun that we've done once before, haven't they? Do you remember the parkrun here?
Kind of.
Kind of. It's a while back, that one. It was a while. And we were going to go to a cafe next door, but somebody spotted us trying to find somewhere to put our bikes. Said, oh, come and put the bikes around here. And it's a lovely little community cafe just here, isn't there, Iona? And what have you got again?
Jack potato, cheese and beans.
How does it rate?
10.
10. And we've had a lovely chat with the people here, haven't we? So I've got a cheese and mushroom panini, which looks delicious. So we'll enjoy our lunch,
I'll take some of that.
re-energise, and see what we do next. We've taken a bit more of a detour on our ride, down from the cafe, down towards Brixworth Country Park and the reservoir that's here. Iona's very happy. There's a playground for her to play on, so she's having a bit of playground time, while I have a bit of chill time and just enjoy the view over the lake and watching the sailing boats at work. This is a site we came to about 2 years ago to do a parkrun. So there's a Brixworth Country Park parkrun. It was before we started doing our film, so unfortunately I can't point you at the film of that parkrun. Maybe it's one we'll have to come back to when Iona decides to start repeating. There's also a lovely little grey men trail here, so you can go and explore the story of the Little Grey Men, which were books I loved when I was a kid, all about the sort of gnomes and animals and their play in this area and chance to escape little grey men go down the bright stream. So yes, beautiful spot, lovely place to come with the family and a lovely place to stop off on our cycle adventure before we start carrying on back down to the cycle route down towards Northampton. I think there might be a bit of undulation before we get back to the cycle route. Shh, don't tell Iona. You've enjoyed some playground time, Iona?
Yeah.
How does the playground rate here?
10.
10 out of 10. Because we're doing ones on cycle tours, we're doing out of 10, aren't we? As opposed to the ones on park runs when they're
5.
Got ya.
Even though 10 tenths and 5 fifths are the same.
You got your maths right as well.
Yeah. Because do you remember that one time that I got it wrong?
Yes. We're doing lunch part 2 at the cafe by the reservoir. So we had a main course at the top one. Now you're having
Ice cream.
It was quite funny. They couldn't get the ice cream to stay in the cone, could they? So you have a tub of mint choc chip ice cream.
And plenty of it.
And lots of it. And an empty cone to enjoy with it. I've got a rather delicious apple and ginger cake.
You can barely taste the ginger.
It's more sort of spicy taste, isn't
Like
it?
cinnamon.
Yeah, but very tasty.
Like grandma's spicy apple pie.
Hopefully this will give us the energy to get back to the cycle path and into Northampton.
Wait, did you just cycle to the station?
Round to the right. We've rejoined the Brampton way after a little detour into Brixworth and Brixworth Country Park and explored the playground and reservoirs and extra cake at the cafe. And now it's time to back on the cycle route on the Route 6 of the National Cycle Network. So off you go, Iona. Well, we've reached the end of the line, or the start of the line in our case. As you get towards the end of the Brampton Valley cycle route, you actually join up with a heritage railway line that is slowly being restored by some volunteers that will run parallel to the cycle route. So this was Ewan's favourite bit when we did the ride together. We actually saw somebody working on the tracks doing some of the construction work. Don't know whether we'll see them today, but we get some excitement of seeing what we see along this section of railway line. As you can see, there's a right mishmash of rolling stock and types of engine here, all being collected and restored, and hopefully be able to travel a bit further backwards and forwards along these lines in the not too distant future. They're still hard at work restoring them. You can stop here as well as a bit of a cafe and things open on Sundays only though, so no luck for us today. Just passing by Pitsford sidings at the moment, and as you can tell, some of the rolling stock and engines are in need of a bit of TLC. I don't think they're quite in operational status at the moment. Definitely need a bit of work. We've arrived at Brampton station and what is in effect the other end of the line. As you can tell, just a short section of rail at the moment. But I'm sure it'll be fun to come here on an open day and see what they have running and how it all operates. As you can tell, this is a fairly revamped and looking very shiny and new station just here. We're into Northamptonshire, or into Northampton, the edge of, and the cycle path has changed from being sort of rough and stony in places to now nice smooth tarmacs and much easier going and smoothing for our cycle ride now. Not far to go now, and soon we'll start to see the fields and so on around us turn into the more urban environment of Northampton. We're almost at our destination, right in the middle of Northampton now, and just crossing over Northampton Racecourse, which isn't actually a racecourse, but of course is the home of one of Northampton's parkruns, which we did a few months ago now. But a lovely spot for a parkrun, big grassy open area that we enjoyed the parkrun round. We're about to start day 3, and what does the day start with, Iona?
Rain.
It does start with a lot of rain. It is definitely not a dry day today. We've arrived, as I say, last night in Northampton, stayed with some lovely folk. We had a lovely tea and time there, didn't we, Iona? And what game have you learnt to play? Rummikub. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're an expert in Rummikub now.
Yeah.
Definitely a game to play in the future. But today we've woken up to rather damp, miserable weather, and we're off to do the new parkrun in Northampton at the university. We decided not to carry on to Milton Keynes on our cycle tour, but to call it a day in Northampton and catch the train back from there to Coventry. We were soaked through from Parkrun. It was just going to be wet carrying on to Milton Keynes. Not so much fun in that. So instead, more time to faff in the cafe and then just a short ride back to Northampton station to catch the train back to Coventry. So our cycle tour adventure is almost over. We've made it back to Coventry on the trains, haven't we, Iona?
Yeah.
Have you had a good time?
Yeah.
You've done amazing. We've almost done 50 miles cycling, haven't we, over the last few days? And a parkrun.
Tiring.
Are you a bit tired now? We're going to go home and chill out for the afternoon, I think, and dry out, aren't we? If you've enjoyed our little adventure, what do they need to do?
Like, subscribe, the notification bell and share.
And watch out for more cycling and running adventures coming very soon. Bye!